John Beltran back with Jen Goodall. We're a couple of minutes away from starting the girls' game from Brush after the Bee Digger boys defeated Fort Morgan 65-53. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at B106 and on our Facebook page at B106 and at Twitter as well at KSIR Sports and on our Facebook page at 1010 KSIR Sports. Lady Bee Diggers have won 2 consecutive games, I should say. They're sitting at 7-3, 2-0 in Patriot League play. And Fort Morgan is at 2-12. These teams met on December 20th. It was a Bee Diggers 67-31 victory, a very convincing victory in Fort Morgan. Mustangs coached by Jim Kreckemeyer, the Bee Diggers by Kim Craich. So it's a battle of the K coaches. And we'll get to the starting lineups here momentarily. Brought to you by Blodorn Lumber at blodornlumber.com. You can browse the virtual showroom, view the current sales, complete a credit application, and shop the entire inventory online. Whether you're a contractor or painting your living room at Blodorn Lumber, you'll get the same friendly service and advice to make your job easier. Blodorn Lumber in Fort Morgan at 130 State Street. Let's get to the Mustang lineup. They go with Samantha Scott, a senior in the backcourt at 5'5", along with Lauren Staley, a junior who did not play in the opening matchup. That should make a difference on the positive end for the Mustangs. Christina Frick, along with Lindsay Nestor and Aurora Baca, a junior for the Mustangs. The Bee Digger starting lineup goes like this. In the middle will be the senior Kristen Berg, along with Mariah Brown and Melissa Wailert. Brown in that backcourt with Shelby Wooliver. And the fifth member of the Bee Digger starting lineup will be junior forward Emma Mortensen at 6 feet tall. And after the Brush girls did not play well in a victory at University, they took on a very good Strasburg team right here on Friday, and they won that game by double figures with a 14-1 third quarter run. The Bee Diggers in their home whites and the Mustangs in their road blacks. The opening tip tonight of game number 2 is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life, home, auto, life, and health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call, 842-4555. More than likely, it'll be Kristen Berg, jumping center for Brush. And for the Mustangs, who are slightly undersized here against the Bee Diggers, who should be able to take advantage of the low post, it'll be Christina Frick. Yeah, the crowd is thinned out quite a bit. Yeah, it was jam-packed for the boys' game. It's Brush 165-53. And the tip is controlled by the Bee Diggers. Shelby Wooliver in the front court with a basketball. At the top against Staley, on the outside right for Wailert, in the right corner for Berg, looking down low. Berg kicks it back out to Wailert. At the top for Wooliver, guarded by Staley. Lobs it down low for Berg, tipped away, but chased down by Mortensen in the corner. Here's Wooliver with a basketball on the high left. At the top for Brown. Brown looking, dribbling to her right, gets a pick from Wailert. Backs up, doesn't take that three. Bounce pass to Wailert in the lane, right corner. Here's Mortensen. Mortensen will not shoot, back out to Brown. Bee Diggers have taken up over 30 seconds on this possession alone to start the game. Wooliver calls out the play for the Bee Diggers as they reset the offense. Outside left for Brown. She'll take the three, and that's off the back of the rim. Berg with a rebound, lost it. It's loose on the floor. There's a tie-up. Nice job by Staley. And that's the problem. If you're a 6-foot player, you grab a rebound, you cannot take it back down. And as a result, Lauren Staley did an excellent job for the Mustangs, tying up Kristen Berg. Backcourt pressure, a steal, and a shot up and in by Shelby Wooliver as the Bee Diggers apply the pressure. With a basketball in the front court is Scott, stripped from behind and taken away by Emma Mortensen. That's 2 turnovers for the Mustangs. Wailert the other way for the Bee Diggers on the outside right for Brown behind that 3-point line. Brown at the top for Mortensen. Mortensen lobs it down low for Berg. She fades, shoots, air ball on the left baseline from 2 feet away. Christina Frick has the basketball for the Mustangs. Here's Scott across the timeline against Brown. 6:35 to go opening quarter. Brush 2, Fort Morgan nothing. Lob down low and the put up by Baca's up and in. Aurora Baca off the back of the rim scores. Deadlocked at 2. Brown the other way for Brush on the outside right for Wooliver. Holding the ball up high against Staley. Cross court pass to Berg. Berg just holding the basketball at the top for Wailert. On the high right to Wooliver. Back at the top for Mortensen. Over to Brown. This is just a lot of catch here. Wailert dribbles to her right on the high right for Berg. Lobs it down low for Mortensen. Banks and scores as she cut to the basket. Patience paid off for the Beat Diggers as Emma Mortensen makes it 4-2. Backcourt pressure applied with the basketball as Baca tipped away by Wooliver. Wooliver has it left baseline. Bounce pass for Brown underneath, and she is fouled by Samantha Scott. Third turnover by the Mustangs. Samantha Scott with her first foul. In fact, it's the first foul of the game. And Brown to trigger it in. Brown underneath. Left corner for Berg. Berg back out to Wooliver. Cross court to Brown. On the high right, the pass to Mortensen. Looking down low, cannot find Wailert. At the top for Brown in the left corner for Berg. This is a very deliberate, methodical, snail-like moving possession right now. Brown, crossover dribble, picks up the dribble, back out to Wooliver. Over to Brown on the outside left. 5:13 to go. Time of possession really doesn't matter in basketball, but the Beat Diggers are dominating it over the first 2.5 minutes. Brown, Mortensen shot is up and around and good on the left baseline. It got all of the rim for Emma Mortensen, but she scores. But this patience is paying off for Brush. 6-2, 4:57 to go first quarter. Into the front court. Frick with a basketball. On the outside left of the lane. Pulls up, back out. The shot by Scott is an air ball. Taken by Frick. She puts it up off the bottom of the rim. Baca's shot is missed, but she's fouled. So Baca to shoot 2. The foul was committed by Emma Mortensen. And Aurora Baca, who has scored the only points, is at the line. B&B Appliance carries a full line of in-stock and ready-to-be-delivered Whirlpool appliances as the free throws off the back of the rim and off to the right. With the world moving towards more green energy, time for you to recycle the old and get in with the new. New appliances, that is. B&B Appliance. Second free throw is in the air. In and out. Kristen Berg has her second rebound on the outlet to Wailert. Wailert with 4:40 to go in the first. Leading 6-2 is Brush. On the high left to Brown. Brown cross court to Berg. Berg 16-footer bingo inside the three-point line for Kristen Berg. Beat Diggers 8, the Mustangs 2. The ball is tipped out of bounds by Wooliver into the Mustang bench. Oh no, it was off the Mustangs. I didn't see who knocked it out, but that's turnover number 4. And now Brown to throw it in. Brown on the high left to Wooliver. Back out to Brown behind that three-point line. Picked up by Samantha Scott. Over to Wooliver at the top. Back out on the outside left to Brown. Left corner for Mortensen. Mortensen looking down low. Bounce pass to Brown. At the top for Wooliver. Holding the ball up high over to Brown on the high left. Brown dribbles to her right. Crossover dribble right of the lane, into the lane. Bounce pass Mortensen. Double team right baseline. In the corner for Berg. Lobs it down low for Mortensen. Dribbles, bounce pass to Brown. Straightaway 3 in the air. Good! Mariah Brown nails the trifecta. 11-2 Brush. And then Berg tips it away in the backcourt, but she fouled Staley from behind. Second team foul on the Beat Diggers. First personal on Berg. And Brush now is on a 9-0 run.
Brush is just running a 2-1. Well, now they've switched it to a 2-2-1. Just regular press.
Frick into Staley, stripped by Wailert. Turnover number 5. Wailert to Brown. Brown at the top with the basketball. In the left corner, Wooliver. Wide open 3 is up. That's going to be an air ball as Christina Frick has the basketball for the Mustangs. Already her third board. On the outlet to Samantha Scott across the timeline at the top. Picked up by Brown on the outside right to Staley. Staley against Wooliver. Gets a pick at the top. 16-footer in the air is going to be short. Melissa Wailert has the rebound. Wailert has to get rid of it before being tied up. And does to Mariah Brown. Brown across the timeline. 3:17 to go first quarter. Fort Morgan trails 11-2. At the top is Wooliver with the basketball. Lost it, got it back before it crossed the timeline. No over and back. Wooliver on the outside left to Wailert. Waitert at the top of the key for Emma Mortensen. Cross court to Brown. Looking down low. Over to Berg. Berg on the high right into Waitert by herself. Banks scores, but a foul on the floor, so it doesn't count. Foul was committed, I believe. Yeah, Christina Frick, and that is her first. Go ahead, Jen.
I was just going to say, Brush is doing a really good job of being patient, and when you do that to a team, defensively is one of the harder things to focus on and stay alert the whole time. So they're basically lulling the Mustangs into a quiet, settled, and then they make their move.
Berg down low for Mortensen. Another forced pass there by Berg. She's done that a couple of too many times this season, taken away by the Mustangs. Scott with the basketball on the outside left. Here is Kinsey Winsheimer into the game. Gets a pick into the lane. Bounce pass down low for Frick. Right corner, Staley shot is around and no good. And Mariah Brown goes high for the rebound for the Beat Diggers. And the outlet to Waitert. 2.5 to go in the opening quarter. Brush 11, Fort Morgan 2. Waitert outside left for Wooliver. Wooliver lobs it into the lane to Brown. It was tipped out of bounds by Scott, and it stays with Brush. And Brown to trigger it in. Oh, this is a little bit different than the boys' game in terms of fouls. A lot different. Only 4 fouls committed so far. There's the lob into Wooliver. Fakes the three. Cross court to Waitert. She takes the three and misses it back rim. But the rebound, it's loose on the floor. Melissa Waitert chases it down near the timeline. Lob on the right baseline for Berg. Berg with a basketball. Dribbles right baseline. She's cut off. Bounce pass down low for Waitert. Turns, banks, scores. Now that was an excellent pass by Berg, and Waitert was able to convert for the Beat Diggers, who on an 11-0 run, 13-2, with 1:57 to go in the opening quarter. Scott Lawson in the backcourt, but it's chased down by Frick. Frick in the front court with the basketball. Had it stripped by Wooliver, and the ball is still loose. Mortensen had it, and when she fouled, she was fouled by Samantha Scott in the backcourt. For Scott, that will be her second foul, and the 6th turnover for the Mustangs, who have just 2 points. And with 1:48 to go as Abby Mussman checks into the game for the Mustangs. Here comes Brown for Brush. Beat Diggers won the opening matchup 67-31 in Fort Morgan, and they're off to a big start here. Warrenson left baseline, back out to Wooliver, in the lane to Berg. Berg in the lane, right of the lane, leans, shoots, partially blocked. Waitert picks it up and scores. Waitert picked up the loose change and deposited it right into the bank. 15-2, 13-0 run for Brush. 1:20 to go in the opening quarter. In the right corner, Staley, 15-footer, yes! Lauren Staley, swish. And that stops the 13-0 run by the Beat Diggers. 15-4 Brush, 1:08 to go opening quarter. Left baseline, Berg dribbles left of the lane, in the lane, 8-foot pull-up is off to the right. And the ball is chased down by Christina Frick. She's already got 4 rebounds. Frick on the outlet to Staley. Staley with the basketball at the free throw line, right of the lane. And her shot is blocked by Kristen Berg, but a foul. As she went straight to the basket, and Berg with her second. She will have to take a seat in favor of Lauren Berg, as Lauren Staley will attempt 2 free throws. And the first one is in and out. Hometown Service and a Higher Plain, High Plains Bank at 502 Central Avenue in Wiggins. For assistance in opening a loan, equity line of credit, or checking account, see what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank in Wiggins. Second free throw is short. And the rebound to Lauren Berg. The outlet to Wooliver, 15-4 Brush. Outside right, Waitert, wide open 3. She'll take it, she'll miss it. However, Lauren Berg ties up with Aurora Baca for the rebound. Possession arrow Brush. Beat Diggers to throw it in underneath the basket with 42.9 seconds to go. Brown to throw it in. Looking, lobs it at the top for Wooliver. On the outside right to Brown, inside the three-point line. Dribbles right baseline. Going to have to back it out to Wooliver. Down low for Lauren Berg. Dribbles, then lost the basketball off her leg out of bounds. Beat Diggers with their 3rd turnover with 34 seconds to go as the Beat Diggers apply the press. Oh, it looked like Baca ran the baseline. That should have been traveling because it was not after a made basket, but no whistle. Into the front court of Staley, right of the free throw line, then just dribbled it right into a Beat Digger as Lauren Berg steals the basketball for Brush. 20 seconds to go. Waitert into the front court, outside right for Brown, behind that three-point line with 15 to go. Back out to Wooliver, near that left corner for Mortensen. Down to 11 seconds to go. Over to Wooliver, back to Mortensen. Mortensen now with 7, dribbles left baseline, bounce pass down low for Waitert, poked out of bounds over there by Abby Mussman. Beat Digger basketball with 5.1 seconds to go. Brown to throw it in. Brown looking. Still looking. Lobs it near the top to Wooliver with 4, with 3. Left corner Berg. Shot is up and short by Lauren Berg. Rebound to Christina Frick. And that is the end of the opening quarter. With the score, the Brush Lady Bead Diggers 15, the Fort Morgan Mustangs 4 on B106 and B106.com. The Bead Diggers lead 15-4 after the Brush Boys won 65-53. And the Mustangs have the basketball to begin the second. Abby Moosman on the outside left. Dribbles at the top. In the left corner is Kinsey Winsheimer. And the ball is stolen away by Mariah Brown. That'll be turnover number 8 for the Mustangs. Here comes Waitert the other way. Waitert to the outside left free throw line for Wooliver. Back out to Brown. Brown takes a long shot, and that's no good. And the rebound controlled by Mortensen. Turn, shoots, scores! Left baseline on the hook. For Emma Mortensen, she's got 6. Bead Diggers apply the pressure ball through the hands of Lindsay Nestor out of bounds at midcourt. It will be Bead Digger basketball. With a basketball, Wooliver free throw on Waitert. Her shot is up and too strong. Samantha Scott has the rebound for the Mustangs. 17-4 Brush. 7:02 to go before the break. Scott in the right corner with the basketball. Dribbling now is Kinsey Winsheimer. Cross-court bounce pass intended over there for Abby Moosman. Taken away by Wailert. And then a tie-up. Possession arrow was pointing in Brush's direction. On the outside left with the basketball is Brown. 6:49 to go second quarter. Bead Diggers by 13. The bounce pass down low for Lauren Berg. Nearly tied up. She is tied up, and it goes over to Fort Morgan. If this continues, we'll be here till 9:30 tonight. And that will give the ball back over to the Mustangs. Bounce pass in the backcourt for Scott. And then she dribbled the ball off of Shelby Wooliver out of bounds. Let's see if we can have about 15 seconds of continuous action. It was pretty good in the first quarter. Baseball pass in the backcourt, taken over there by Abby Moosman, then stolen by Waitert. Waitert all the way, pulls up. Shot is blocked out of bounds by Winsheimer. But for the Mustangs, they've committed their 11th turnover. And we still have 6:36 to go before the break. Brown to throw it in. Brown looking, still looking. Left corner pass for Wooliver. Wooliver dribbles to her right, lobs it left baseline for Mortensen. Mortensen back out to Brown. Left corner, 3 in the air. Is off the back of the rim. Rebound to Waitert. And then it's stripped away by Samantha Scott. The other way, here comes Scott. Outside right, Winsheimer fakes that shot, dribbles to her left. Bounce pass at the top. Over to Moosman. Here is Nestor, left of the lane, puts it up, and that's an air ball. Mariah Brown cannot save it and out of bounds. It stays with the Fort Morgan Mustangs. With 6:11 to go, and the Mustangs trailing by 13. And I think Christina Frick stepped out of the game. There's a bounce pass in the left corner for Staley. Left of the lane, jump pass is tipped away, taken by Frick. 10-footer in the air is an air ball. Nestor tries to save it and cannot. It goes over to the Bead Diggers with 6:04 to go. Here in the second quarter. And Brush up 17-4. Brown with the basketball on the outside left. Over to Wooliver, fakes the 3, straight away for Wailert. On the left baseline, Mortensen fakes the shot, nearly traveled back out to Brown. Wide open 3, she'll take it, she'll miss it off to the right. And the ball is volleyballed around into the hands of Lindsay Nestor of Fort Morgan. There's the outlet to Staley, a 2-on-2 in the lane, right baseline, over to Frick in the corner, back out. Here is Samantha Scott, 10-foot floater up, good! Samantha Scott scores. First points for the Mustangs in the quarter. Brush leads 17-6 with 5:26 to go before the break. Brown on the outside left to Wooliver. Wooliver left baseline for Lauren Berg. Berg down low for Wooliver, off her hands out of bounds. And the Bead Diggers have committed their 6th turnover of the game.
Well, the Bead Diggers have lost some of the patience that they showed earlier, and were able to, pass the ball around the horn or on the outside and then make some key cuts to make the layups.
Yeah, you can't get away from what was successful in the opening quarter when Brush raced out to an 11-point lead. Here Staley shot off the glass and in. About a 12-footer for Lauren Staley. Here come the Mustangs. They're down by only 9, 17-8 with 5:03 to go before the break. Waitert On the outside right to Wooliver, looking down low for Berg. Lobs it down low for Kristen Berg. Turns, shoots, scores off the glass for Kristen Berg. She's got 4. And the Beatdiggers back up to an 11-point advantage at 19-8. We've got 4:47 to go before halftime. Moosman back out to Scott. Looked like she traveled, no whistle. Dribbles to her left of the free throw line. Bounce pass, left baseline for Staley. Dribbles left baseline, underneath the basket. Jump pass tipped away, but taken in the corner. And here's the shot by Moosman, high off the glass, no good. Melissa Wailert has her 5th rebound of the game for the Beatdiggers. Here comes Wailert into the front court. With a basketball in the left corner is Whitney Mount. Back out to Wooliver. Down low for Emma Mortensen. Nearly fouled. Lost the ball. Loose on the floor. Tie-up stays with the Beatdiggers.
And the Beatdiggers are going away from what they were doing in the first part. They were being patient. Now they're trying to run a flex low, but they're not really getting to set the screen. They're passing the ball before the screen is set, so they're not able to cut off and use the screens properly.
Mount lobs it in, but it's tipped away by Frick. And the Beatdiggers have turned it over for a 7th time. On the outside left of the basketball, Scott jump pass over to Staley. Staley puts up a 16-footer. It's off the back of the rim, and Staley chases down the rebound for the Mustangs. Staley resets right at the lane. In the lane, scoops it up, foul that she misses. And to the stripe, Lauren Staley. Kristen Berg's committed her 3rd. And the free throw is in. Now, Lauren Staley, she's their best player, and she missed that first meeting, which the Mustangs lost by 36.
Well, and sometimes as a post player, you're going to try to pick up what the guards don't shut down on the outside of the lane, so you get called a lot.
Lane violation. Beatdigger basketball with 3:55 to go before halftime. Brush 19, Fort Morgan 9. Whitney Mount with the basketball. Down low for Wailert. Banks and scores. Melissa Wailert off the beautiful feed. Wailert now with 6, 21-9 Brush. 3:40 to go before halftime. There's the lob towards the front court. Knocked out of bounds by Lauren Berg into the Beatdigger bench. And to throw it in will be Frick. Here's the pass into Samantha Scott, right baseline for Staley. She penetrates, she shoots, she misses. Partially blocked over there as Lauren Berg picks up the basketball for the Beatdiggers. On the outlet to Wailert. Wailert, long pass towards the left baseline. It's poked away by Scott out of bounds, intended for Mortensen as Brush retains possession. And to throw it in will be Wooliver with 3:24 to go on the outside left to Wailert. Wailert against Scott, gets a pick from Wooliver, lobs it for Wooliver at the free throw line. 15-foot rainbow is around and good. That had major touch by Shelby Wooliver. She's got 4, and the Beatdiggers have their biggest advantage of 14, 23-9. Staley the other way. Bounce pass down low. The shot by Frick is partially blocked by Berg and taken away by Mount. Tie up. It stays with the Mustangs as the possession arrow is pointing in their direction. And to throw it in will be Samantha Scott. Bounce pass into the right corner, stolen by Wooliver, intended for Staley. That is turnover number 13. Make it 12 for Fort Morgan. Left baseline, Mortensen with the basketball, lobs it at the free throw line for Mount, dribbles by 2, lost it, got it back, throws it to Mortensen. Her shot is around and no good, and the long rebound is into the hands of Kinsey Winsheimer. That's her first. 2:40 to go. Second quarter, Brush 23, Fort Morgan 9. Bounce pass on the outside left for Staley. Against Wooliver, gets a pick, dribbles at the top. Wants to put up that shot, bounce pass down low for Nestor, turns, shoots, banks, misses, and the ball is loose on the floor, still loose, and it's out of bounds off of Frick, Beatdigger basketball. Mustangs with substitutions, Aurora Baca and Abby Moosman into the game for Lauren Staley and Lindsay Nestor.
The Mustangs have maintained just a man-to-man defense, so Beatdiggers have an opportunity to set some screens. They're just not using them.
On the outside left of the basketball is Mount. Mount spinning near the top to Wailert. Wailert to her right. Baseball pass at the top for Mortensen. Left baseline for Berg. Berg takes a dribble, hooks, scores. Lauren Berg with her first 2 points. And Brush now leads 25-9 with 2:03 to go before halftime. Scott trapped in the backcourt, maintains the dribble, got it get it across it. Now they're going to be called for a 10-second violation, and Frick gets it across the timeline and then has a stripper behind by Berg, but picks it back up. Cross-court pass to Winsheimer, 10-footers off the back of the rim, and the rebound to Melissa Wailert. That's already her 6th on the outlet to Mount. 1:43 to go before the break. The Beat Diggers lead by 16. Wooliver on the high left with the basketball. Cross-court pass to Lauren Berg. Berg down low for Wooliver, cutting to the basket, misses, fouled. Wooliver to shoot 2, and the Mustang foul was committed by Aurora Baca. That'll be her first. And the free throw is off to the right. As Quincy Segelke. Second free throw is up and good. 26-9 with 1:33 to go before the break. Beat Digger boys won tonight 65-53 with a 22-11 fourth quarter run. Into the front court with the basketball is Winsheimer behind that three-point line. At the top for Scott. Dribbles to her right of the lane. Cut off over there by Mortensen. Back out to Frick. 12-footer is off the bottom of the net, but picked up by a Mustang. That's Baca. She misses, and then the ball is poked out of bounds by Baca, and it goes over to the Beat Diggers. With 1:18 to go. And Brush basketball up 26-9. The Beat Diggers then throw it away. Taken away by Samantha Scott. Scott left of the lane with the basketball, puts up a wild shot and misses. However, the rebound to Winsheimer, and then she's tied up. Possession arrow Brush. Oh, now it's got real sloppy with 1:03 to go before the break, and the Mustangs will apply the press. Backcourt to Wailert. Over to Segelke. Segelke dribbles across the timeline with 56 seconds to go. There's the lob right of the lane to Mount. Bounce pass to Lauren Berg. Lean shoots, misses, traveled before that as Brush turns it over for a 9th time in the game. Now Brush applies the pressure. This is what extends the game. You apply that pressure, plenty of turnovers, too many whistles. Winsheimer trap, bounce pass back out to Scott. Scott with the basketball, double team. Scott still in the backcourt. Over to Baca. Front court pass is taken over there by Frick. Left baseline here is Mooseman. Lost the basketball. Loose on the floor. Picked up by Frick on the outside right. Winsheimer chases it down in front of the Beat Digger bench. 28 seconds to go. 26-9 in favor of Brush. Bounce pass outside left for Mooseman. Fakes the 3. Looks to her right. At the top for Frick. Dribbles into the lane. In the right corner is Samantha Scott. Right baseline for Frick. 14 seconds to go. Double team. Her pass back out near the timeline is taken by Scott with 9 seconds to go. Cross court for Mooseman. Lobs it inside. Poked away. Taken by Winsheimer in the corner. Stripped away and stolen by Wailert. And then she double dribbled. Holy mahungus. 3.1 seconds to go. Let's get to the break already because I need one. Frick to throw it in. Frick in the left corner. Here is Mooseman. Throws up a prayer. It's an air ball. Segelke has it for the Beat Diggers. And we are at halftime with the score. Brush 26. Fort Morgan 9. Let's take a 3-minute break on B106 and B106.com. 26-9, the Brush Lady Beat Diggers lead the Fort Morgan Mustangs as they're going for the season sweep of the Mustangs after beating them on December 20 at 67-31. It'll be Lauren Staley, Samantha Scott, along with Aurora Baca, who inbounds the ball, and stolen by Brown, intended for Scott. Well, that's turnover number 14. We'll get to the lineup momentarily. Wailert to Brown, left baseline. Her shot is up. Good, and a foul on Scott as Brown hits from 15 feet away. She's got 5. Scott to the line. That's her 3rd foul. All right, for the Mustangs, Nestor, Staley, Scott, Frick, and Baca. For the Beat Diggers, Mortensen, Kristenberg, Mariah Brown, Shelby Wooliver, Melissa Wailert. Free throw is in the air, and that's perfect. Beat Diggers now lead by a score of 29-9. At some point, they'll take the press off. Scott into the front court. Bounce pass right baseline for Staley. She traveled. Turnover number 15. And to throw it in will be Brown in the backcourt. I'm John Beltran. As Wooliver has the basketball, and Jen Goodall joining me here for the second half. The pace is now increasing a little bit. Brown down low for Berg, turns, shoots, scores. On the right baseline, little 7-footer for Kristen Berg. She's got 6. Bee Diggers off to a big start here in the second half, 31-9. Samantha Scott with a basketball. Crossover dribble, lost it, and it's out of bounds. But it was poked away, apparently by a Bee Digger. Kristen Berg is running towards the other end of the court. Even Wahlert is wondering who touched it for Brush, but it'll stay with Fort Morgan. Nestor penetrates left baseline all the way. Her pull-up is an air ball. Taken away by Shelby Wooliver. On the outlet to Wahlert. Wahlert lobs it left baseline for Kristen Berg. Dribbles to her right. Little 10-footer is short. And the ball is loose. It's picked up by Christina Frick. Frick tries to dribble out of traffic, and the ball is thrown off of Wooliver out of bounds. It'll stay with Fort Morgan, and the Bee Diggers will back off on defense as they're up by 22 with 6:55 to go in the third quarter. Brush is going for their third consecutive victory. Staley at the free throw line for Baca. Right corner, Nestor fakes, leans, blocked over there by Kristen Berg, and the ball is taken by Emma Mortensen. Mortensen on the outlet to Brown. It's a 2-on-4. Left baseline to Berg. Dribbles. Then she leans. She shoots. She misses off the back of the rim. Berg with a rebound. Dribbles. Puts it back up. Air ball. Emma Mortensen turns. Shoots off the bottom of the rim. Emma Mortensen grabs the other rebound. Then she's tied up. It'll stay with the Bee Diggers. Well, Brush is crushing the boards right now. And Brown to throw it in. They only had a 1 rebounding edge at the break. Wooliver to trigger it in. Wooliver throws it to Wahlert near the top against Frick. Dribbles by Frick at the free throw line. Bounce pass back out to Wooliver. Straight away for Brown. She'll take the 3. She'll miss the 3. And the ball is off the hands of Emma Mortensen, out of bounds. And the ball goes over to the Mustangs with 6:15 to go, third quarter. Brush 31, Fort Morgan 9. And the Bee Diggers still apply the press. It's broken by Samantha Scott. Scott with 1 to beat. Shot blocked out of bounds by Mortensen. Yeah, she's giving up several inches on Mortensen. Little head fake probably would have helped.
Well, and that's what we talked about before, that she could have pulled out and run an offense.
Scott in the right corner, dribbling left of the lane. Jump pass to Staley. Fakes the 3, dribbles to a right. 15-footer is an air ball. Out of bounds. Brush basketball. And Melissa Wahlert to throw it in. I tell you what, Jen. The Brush Library probably is as quiet as this building right now. Because I can hear myself only at this point. It is very quiet.
It is, but there are loud fans sometimes that come on in the library.
Well, I know, but it's a 22-point game. Second game of the night. Here is Brown, left baseline. Back out to Wooliver, 3 in the air. Off to the left. Rebound to Kristen Berg. Bounce passes off of Aurora Bach out of bounds. She was trying to throw it to Emma Mortensen. Bee Diggers catch a break there, and Brown to throw it in. Follow us on Twitter at B106 and on Facebook, our B106 page. Brown to throw it in. Bounce pass to Mortensen, right of the lane. Right corner, Brown. Down low for Mortensen. Dribbles, bounce pass to Brown. Fakes the 3, picked up by Scott. Dribbles into the lane. Bounce pass to Wooliver. Left baseline penetration, puts it up, and she's hacked in the act by Lauren Staley as she misses. First foul by Staley. Shelby Wooliver to the stripe. All right, you see, it's really quiet. I just heard somebody chewing gum in row 3 on the opposite side. Wooliver to shoot 2. And the free throw.
That's popcorn, actually.
Swish! The free throw is good. Oh, that was popcorn. Okay.
Yeah, a bag of popcorn.
All right, I knew the sound was fairly similar. Second free throw. Swish! Wooliver makes both. I got to entertain myself somehow. 33-9, 5.5 to go in the third. Here's Nestor, left baseline all the way, scoops it up off the glass, and in for Lindsay Nestor. The Mustangs are in the double-figure scoring column. It's 33-11. Brown the other way with the basketball. Back out to Wooliver. On the outside right to Brown. In the right corner for Mortensen. Mortensen looking at the top for Kristen Berg. Down low for Wooliver. Right through her hands out of bounds. Brush turns it over for an 11th time here in the game. Kinsey Winsheimer and Abby Moosman check in for the Mustangs, supplanting Aurora Baca and Samantha Scott. 5:13 to go. Brush 33, Fort Morgan 11. Backcourt throws it into Moosman. The Bee Diggers will back off on defense. That should speed up the game considerably. On the outside right, Staley pulls up, 15-footer, short. Rebound to Melissa Waiter. 7th rebound. The bounce pass to Wooliver. Wooliver all the way, left-handed layup up and in! To the left of the basket for Shelby Wooliver. 4 points in the quarter, 9 in the game. Wooliver nearly a steal. Now the Bee Diggers apply the pressure again. Wow. We do have 4:50 to go in the third. You're up by 24. Lauren Staley across the timeline, picked up by Wooliver. Wooliver bounce pass free throw line for Nestor, left of the lane. Nestor spinning, and then the ball's poked at a bounce by Wailert, intended for Winsheimer. And Christina Frick to throw it in. In the left corner here, Staley, double teamed. She dribbles to her right, picks up the dribble, lost the ball. Frick picks it up. Cross-court pass is tipped away by Wooliver and intercepted by the Bee Diggers. Brown the other way. It's a 3-on-3. Three-pointer in the air. Air ball. Winsheimer has it for Fort Morgan. Winsheimer stolen by Brown. Her shot is off to the left. Winsheimer has the rebound, and then she's fouled. Foul by Brown. That's her first. First team foul committed by the Bee Diggers. 4:19 to go, 35-11. And Brown nearly with a steal. Moosman has it as the Bee Diggers apply the pressure in the backcourt. Lob towards Winsheimer, intercepted by Berg. Berg gets it to Wooliver. Wooliver bounce pass to Brown, lays it up and in off the glass. Mariah Brown has 8 in the game, 5 in this quarter, 37-11. Bounce pass off of Berg out of bounds. 4 minutes to go in the third. Bee Diggers still applying the pressure, up by 26. Well, let's see the next time Brush scores. Let's see if they back off. On the outside right, Moosman right of the lane. She's cut off in the right corner. Staley penetrates right baseline, swings it cross court over there to Moosman right of the lane. In the lane, she's trapped. Cross court pass, Winsheimer, 15-footer, is in and out. And Kristen Berg grabs her 5th rebound of the game on the outlet to Wailert. Long pass to Mortensen, takes a dribble, puts it up and in off the glass with the left hand for Emma Mortensen. She's got 8. Bee Diggers still with the pressure in the backcourt. They're up by 28 with 3:32 to go in the third. Winsheimer with the basketball. Bounce pass in the right corner for Staley. Long shot is up off the back of the rim. Melissa Waiter grabs the rebound for the Bee Diggers. That's her 8th. Long pass from Waiter to Mortensen. Banks and scores. Mortensen now with 10 in the game. Bee Diggers up by 30. Jeez, they're still applying the press. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Here is Moosman straight away with the basketball. Back out to Staley, and now we've got a Fort Morgan timeout. Full timeout brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. Let's hope that they take the press off. Brush 41, Fort Morgan 11 with 3:06 to go in the third. We'll take a 1-minute break on B106 and B106.com. Mustang basketball as the Mustangs trail 41-11. The Brush boys won tonight 65-53. Here's Samantha Scott with the basketball with 3 minutes to go in the third. Bee Diggers up by 30. Moosman dribbles into the lane all the way. Her shot is blocked by Berg, loose on the floor, and it's out of bounds off Mariah Brown as the Mustangs retain possession. Samantha Scott to throw it in. Scott lobs it in on the outside right. Winsheimer, her shot is short, and the ball is volleyballed into the hands of Christina Frick, her 15-footer. It's glass and rim and misses. Emma Mortensen has the rebound. Then she's mobbed, no whistle. Frick has it again. Bounce pass outside right for Moosman in the lane. Wants to shoot. Bounce pass for Baca. Backing in on Berg. Puts up a shot. She misses. And Berg has the rebound for the Bee Diggers. Her 6th. Wailert into the front court to Wooliver. Wooliver left baseline. Mortensen dribbles, shoots, scores. Little 7-footer for Emma Mortensen. And the Bee Diggers now lead 43-11. Looked like they were pressuring momentarily. And then Frick lost the basketball in the front court. Taken away by Brush. That's 19 turnovers against Fort Morgan. Wooliver, 3 in the air, is around and no good. Berg with a rebound in the putback, and she's unable to make it. Blocked out of bounds by Frick, or did she lose it? Well, they're going to say that she just lost the basketball. So it will be Fort Morgan ball, 43-11, in favor of the Bee Diggers with 2:07 to go in the third. And yeah, the Bee Diggers are still applying the pressure. Lob near the top to Baca. Baca on the outside right, taken by Winsheimer. Right baseline for Scott, foul by Wooliver. That'll be her first second-team foul with 1:52 to go. And to throw it in is Samantha Scott. to the left of the basket. In the right corner, Mooseman fakes that shot, guarded by Mortensen, dribbles to her left, right of the lane, in the lane, over to Nestor, 15-footers off the back of the rim, and the ball's into the hands of Melissa Waiter. That's her 9th rebound. Long pass to Wooliver. She'll lay it up and in. Wooliver with 11 in the quarter. B-Diggers now lead 45-11 with 1:29 to go in the third. B-Diggers have outscored Fort Morgan 19-2 in the quarter. Winsheimer right of the lane, bounce pass back out to Mooseman. Her pull-up right baseline is no good. Kristen Berg goes high for the rebound. That is her 7th. The outlet to Wooliver. It's a 2-on-1. Bounce pass to Mortensen. Lost the basketball. Got it back. Left corner, Brown. 3 in the air. Good for Mariah Brown. 8 in the quarter, 11 in the game. Jeez, why are the B-Diggers pressuring the backcourt? I mean, come on. Enough of this. It's 47-11. I mean, just sag. You know, I mean, I know I'm not really supposed to editorialize from that standpoint, but it's a 36-point game. I mean, Mustang fans got to be wondering what is happening, why the press continues as the ball's knocked out of bounds by Fort Morgan off the miss. And a press should not be taking place at this point when you're up by 36 with 47.4 seconds to go. I mean, that cannot happen. And if I get blasted for that opinion, so be it. Here's Wooliver with the basketball. On the outside left to Waiter. Waiter behind the three-point line. Spins back out to Brown. At the top for Wooliver. Wooliver on the outside right for Brown. Brown with the basketball. Dribbles to her left. In the right corner for Mortensen. Mortensen with 27 seconds to go. Over to Wooliver. Wooliver gets a pick from Mortensen. Lob pass towards Mortensen. Knocked away. Mortensen chases it down though. Mortensen cross court to Brown. Brown down low for Berg. Left of the lane and she's fouled from behind by Lindsay Nestor. That'll be her first foul, the team's third. 16.4 seconds to go. There's the lob into Berg. Berg, cross court to Brown on the right wing. Brown with the basketball back out to Wooliver on the outside right to Brown. Lobs it down low for Berg. Turns, shoots off the back of the rim. Samantha Scott has the rebound for Fort Morgan at half court with 1 second to go, and that'll be the end of the quarter. At the end of 3, it is Brush 47, Fort Morgan 11, as the B-Diggers will clear the bench and bring in their second teamers in when the fourth quarter starts. You're listening to Mustang and B-Digger basketball on B106 and B106.com. The B-Diggers outscored the Mustangs 21-2 in the quarter, 47-11 Brush as we head to the fourth. Samantha Scott with the basketball on the outside left for Staley. Staley looking down low, dribbling to her right, gets a pick at the free throw line. Right baseline, the Nestor shot is up and good for Lindsay Nestor. Nestor now with 4 points in the game. She's got the only points in the second half. Here's Tamara Schreiner, shot up and in from 15 feet away for Schreiner. Now the B-Diggers sag on defense, and that's the right thing to do now. 49-13 with 7:23 to go. The Frick shot is up and in! Straight away from 16 feet, Christina Frick. Wow, the offense is all of a sudden, now Fort Morgan is pressuring, but they're the team that's way down. Segelke breaks the press into the front court. Over to Mounts, went right behind her, and it's picked up by Christina Frick. A one-on-one, Frick banks and misses, and Lauren Staley has the rebound for Fort Morgan. Left baseline shot is no good. Lauren Berg with the rebound for the B-Diggers. Berg to Segelke, 6:55 to go in the game. Brush 49, Fort Morgan 15. Mountain lost the ball. Right into the hands of Lauren Staley. It's a 3-on-2. Staley middle of the lane. And then threw the ball away. Intended on the left baseline over there for Samantha Scott. And it's turnover number 20 for Fort Morgan. The B-Diggers have 13. And they only had 1 in the third quarter. That's part of the reason they went on a 21-2 run. Here's Segelke between the legs in the front court. Bounce pass to Schreiner. Schreiner against Frick. And then threw it behind. Whitney Mounts out of bounds. And goes into the B-Digger bench. And to throw it in will be Aurora Baca. Into Scott. 6.5 to go. Brush 49, Fort Morgan 15. On the outside left to Staley, guarded by Mounts. Dribbles to her right, at the top, right of the lane. Pulls up from 15. Short. Lauren Berg with another strong rebound for the B-Diggers. That's her fourth. On the outlet, into the front court as Whitney Mount turned the ball over. Well, the second team wants to play better than this. They've got 2 points and 4 turnovers in the first minute and 44 seconds of the fourth quarter. Samantha Scott with the basketball for Fort Morgan. Bounce pass on the outside right for Staley. Dribbles by Segelke. At the top, bounce pass over to Baca. Right baseline here is Frick. Back out to Staley. Staley looking down low. At the free throw line for Nestor. Left of the lane. Now the 16-footers around and short, missed by Scott. And the ball is knocked out of bounds. It is off of Christina Frick. Beat Digger basketball with 5:53 to go. You want your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them. Purchase the best quality parts and accessories at great prices at your local Napa store. Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan as the Bead Diggers turn it over again. They throw it away into the Bead Digger bench intended for Mount in the right corner. There comes Fort Morgan the other way. Visit Morgan Community College online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. It'll get you on the right track and find out what options are available to help you as Lauren Staley drills the triple. She's got 8 points in the game. Imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goal with Morgan Community College. Whitney Mount loses the ball just across the timeline out of bounds.
She's having a tough time.
Oh, gosh. I think she's turned it over by herself 4 times in the quarter, and we played just over 2.5 minutes. 49-18 Brush.
Brush is playing a little too fast for what they want to do.
Nestor left baseline, bounce pass over to Aurora Baca, right of the lane, spinning over to Nestor, fakes, pulls up from 8, around and no good. Rebound to Baca, she puts it back up and misses, and the rebound to Tamara Schreiner of the Bead Diggers. Here's Segelke the other way, crossover dribble into the lane. Left baseline for Berg, straight away for Schreiner. On the outside, left to Segelke, 4:49 to go. Brush up by 31. In the lane to Mount. Lost it, picked up by Berg, and then stripped away by Scott. Here is Scott. Bounce pass right baseline to Baca, and she misses and she's fouled. Check that. That's Staley. Berg commits the foul, and that's her first. And Lauren Staley could get into the double-digit scoring column if she makes both free throws with 4:39 to go. And she will shoot 2. The free throw is no good. Second free throw is upcoming. That one is up, and that one is in. Staley now with 9 in the game. 49-19 Brush, 4:34 to go. Segelke at the top, in the lane. Bounce pass, left baseline Berg. Her shot is up and off to the left. And the rebound to Lindsay Nestor of Fort Morgan. With the basketball, the shot is missed over there. And taken away by Staley. She puts it back up and in off the glass. Lauren Staley scores. And it is 49-21. With a basketball, Mount across the timeline. Mount then got stripped by Christina Frick. The Bead Diggers are playing awful here in this quarter. Frick banks and scores. And the Mustangs are capitalizing. They were down by 36. Now it's 26, 49-23. Berg at the top, at the free throw line, into the lane, left of the lane. Backs it out to Mount. Bounce pass right baseline to Cammie Sweeney. Sweeney nearly tied up. Down low for Berg. Dribbles, double team, turns, shoots, misses. Rebound to Lauren Berg. She goes back up and scores off the glass. 51-23. With 3.5 to go. Samantha Scott left of the lane all the way, scoops it up, misses. And the ball is rebounded by Baca. She scores. The ball was loose on the floor. Baca picked it up, and she put it in. 51-23. 3:16 to go. Segelke front court. Left baseline for Berg. Dribbles, travel before that. Rush turns it over for a 9th time in the quarter. 20 in the game. And Callie Bills now in for the Bead Diggers.
As is Maddie Kerr.
Kinsey Winsheimer in for Fort Morgan. 51-23 with 3:07 to go in the game. Winsheimer at the top for Staley. Staley to her left in the left corner. Here's Baca, double team, bounce pass towards Staley. Staley dribbles by 1, leans from 10, short. Callie Bills had the rebound, but it's taken away by Winsheimer. And now the Mustangs reset. Winsheimer with the basketball on the outside right, tripped up by Segelke, 14th foul. Segelke with her first. And to throw it in will be Amy Anderson for Fort Morgan, a sophomore. With 2:48 remaining. In the right corner with the basketball is Abby Moosman. Dribbles to her left by Sweeney, back near the top. On the outside left is Winsheimer. Fakes the three, then double dribbles, but no whistle, then puts it up and in. She just threw up a runner from about 16 feet away. Winsheimer scores for the first time, 51-25. Mustangs apply the pressure, knocking the ball out of bounds was Michaela Forsythe. Well, this will extend the game as long as the Mustangs apply the pressure. Down by 26 with 2.5 to go. Segelke into Kerr. Kerr with the basketball across the timeline. Kerr to her right to Segelke. Segelke to her left. Bounce pass is kicked by Winsheimer. It stays with Brush. Beediggers have been outscored 14-4 in the quarter. There's the pass into Schreiner, and she misses. Rebound to Sweeney. Beediggers reset. With the basketball's Kerr forces up a shot on the left baseline. An air ball. Winsheimer has it for the Mustangs. Winsheimer all the way is fouled by Bills. And to the line is Kinsey Winsheimer with 2:05 to go. Winsheimer to shoot two. And the free throw's off the back of the rim. Second free throw coming up for Winsheimer. And that is up, and that's in. As Winsheimer scores, 51-28. 2 minutes to go in the game. Schreiner across the timeline on the outside right towards the corner. Picks up the dribble, back out to Segelke. At the top for Bills. Down low for Sweeney, off her hands, but she picks it back up. Now towards Bills, poked out of bounds. Over there by the Mustangs and Caitlin Cox. And to throw it in will be Segelke. Into Kerr. 1:47 to go. Back to Segelke. Down low for Sweeney in the lane. Hooks, misses. And the ball is rebounded by Kerr. She goes up and scores. Maddie Kerr with her first points. 53-28. Beediggers, 1.5 to go. From Brush. And the ball is thrown out of bounds, intended for Serena Wells. The Mustangs turn it over for only a second time in the quarter. They've got 21 in the game as compared to 20 for Brush.
And they've stayed in a man-to-man defense the whole game.
Yeah. No adjustment there, but the Beediggers have been the better team tonight. Sweeney with the basketball down low for Schreiner, and she banks and misses. Schreiner goes back up and scores. Off the glass for Tamara Schreiner. She's got 4, 55-28. We are down to a minute to go. Wells with the basketball. Wells on the left baseline to Moosman. Moosman double team. Bounce pass is taken in the lane, and the shot is up by Anderson. No good. Into the hands of Forsythe, and she is fouled hard. She'll go to the line. I think that foul was on Schreiner. It's her first foul. Free throw by Forsythe is in the air. Around and good. Second free throw upcoming. 55-29 with 48.1 seconds to go. Benz shoots, misses. Schreiner with a rebound for the Beediggers. Here's Segelke with 40 seconds to go. Over to Kerr straight away, left of the lane, left baseline for Schreiner, 12-footer off the rim. Amy Anderson with a rebound for Fort Morgan with 30 seconds remaining. Anderson, 10-foot pull-up, blocked by Bills and taken away by Sweeney. Here is Segelke crossing the timeline with 18 seconds remaining. Back out to Kerr. Kerr looking to her right, picks up the dribble. Bounce pass for Sweeney into the lane, dribbled the ball off her foot, and it's taken away by the Mustangs. With 6 seconds to go, with 3, Wells puts up a shot. No good. Rebound to Callie Bills, and that is the game. The Brush Lady Bead Diggers complete the season sweep of the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Brush wins tonight 55-29. We'll take a 1-minute break, 1 minute on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran, Jen Goodall back at Brush High School where the Lady Bead Diggers complete the sweep of the Fort Morgan Mustangs tonight as Brush wins 55-29. Welcome to the Bead Digger Mustang post-game show brought to you by Buildings by Design. Knowing who you can trust to do a good job is the tough part nowadays. When you hire Buildings by Design, you can trust you get the building you want when you want it and at the quality you deserve. Start your build project right with Buildings by Design. Bead Diggers led 15-4 after 1, 26-9 at the break. Outscored Fort Morgan 21-2 in the third. And then the Mustangs outscored the Bead Diggers 18-8 in the fourth as the Bead Diggers win 55-29. Visiting Mustangs got 11 points from Lauren Staley, 4 apiece from Lindsay Nestor and Aurora Baca, 4 from Christina Frick, 3 points from Kinsey Winsheimer, Samantha Scott with 2 and 1 from Michaela Forsyth. The Bead Diggers had 3 players in the scoring column. Emma Mortensen with 12 tonight, Mariah Brown and Shelby Wooliver with 11, 6 points apiece from Melissa Waitert and Kristen Berg. And then Tamara Schreiner and Lauren Berg at 4. Maddie Kerr with 2. Turnover situation, the Bead Diggers had 21, 10 of those in the fourth quarter. And the Mustangs had 21, 13 of those in the first half. The Bead Diggers out-rebounded the Mustangs 35-26. 9 rebounds tonight for Melissa Waitert for Brush, and leading Fort Morgan with 8 rebounds was Christina Frick. At the free throw line, the Mustangs 4 out of 12, 33%. The Bead Diggers 4 out of 5, 80%. The Bead Diggers with the victory are now 8-3 on the year. They've won 3 consecutive games. Lady Mustangs fall to 2-13, and the Mustangs back in action on Friday night at home against Vista Peak right here on B106 and B106.com as Brian Nickel will have the call of the Mustang Vista Peak games. As for the Lady Bead Diggers, they'll be back in action on Friday night at home against the Valley Vikings on 1010 as well as KSIR.com. We'll have the Brush Boys game on Friday night in Gilcrest against the Valley Vikings. Again, you can follow us on Twitter for Mustang sports updates at B106 and on our Facebook page at B106 as well. And for the Bead Diggers on Twitter at KSIR Sports and on Facebook at our 1010 KSIR Sports page. Sound engineer and producer and updating us on social media, doing a great job tonight has been Michaela Klimper. For Jen Goodall, I'm John Beltran. The final scores once again tonight. The Brush boys defeat Fort Morgan 65-53, and the Brush girls beat Fort Morgan 55-29. All right here on B106 and B106.com.